copy of The Son of Man Speaks from these select locations. Sisters Grade 2, 1806, the Shell Gas Station, 13110 West 7 Mile Road. Subscription, call 601-786-9. That's 601-786-9788. The Son of Man Speaks magazine, dedicated to becoming free indeed.
SOS Graphic Design provides agency-quality professional graphic design services from established companies to startups and individuals, creating a simple logo, complete rebranding, and delivering visual communication with print media. Everything SOS Graphic Design does has a single unifying objective: to set your business. We are at your service. Call 313-342-66. That's 313-342-2166 or online at www.sosgraphic.com.
Well, we're moving on now to the side.
18070 Mount Elliott Street. Spacious with adequate parking, Wi-Fi, and all brand new state-of-the-art salon equipment. Come hair specialist and check out our many hair services: box braids, cornrows, tree braids, Havana twists, children's braids, natural twists, lock extensions, kinky twists, goddess locks, updo. Free to visit us on the web at www.grade2.com or call 313-826-0498. Here at Sisters Grade 2, we offer exceptional care for exceptional times.
We would like to invite you to help support the efforts of the Unity and Rebuilding Fund. Visit the website at www.unity-fund.com. We often hear how we need to work together and rebuild the city, and we're actually doing it. You can make online donations and click on links and rebuild it. And for more information, 313-000 is a local number. Again, 313-868-0000. Support the Unity and Rebuild Fund.
Full of greeting cards and still couldn't find the one that will search no more and call Designed by D. We offer birthday cards. Our cards are one-of-a-kind keepsake items placed on their mantle with all of their other. We also offer holiday cards. With Designed by D, no holiday will go unnoticed. Our unique greeting cards are sure to. We also have cards for special. Are your one-stop shop for unique and three-dimensional handmade greeting cards for all occasions. We also take custom orders. Every card and made with love. So call Designed by D today at 601-451-9536 or visit our website, www.com.
PR Detroit HD2. You're watching WHPS, Highland Park. FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park. WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Sisters, are you tired of reading the Holy Scripture and not really understand what you read? And if you're reasonably sure, have you ever tested that what you feel you know has a different view than your own? Then let's talk with one another.
Conference recording started. Conference recording started. The recording.
Friday at 9 p.m. and Sunday on WHPR TV Detroit Live, 88.1 FM WHPR, and Comcast Cable. Why don't you call and disciple? And if you have one, the Holy Quran, and come to Holy Scriptures and their true meaning. You can call in live on the air at area code 313-868-4336, 0342, or 313-0351. That's 313-868-4336, 313-868-0342, or 368-0351. And now, let's go live with a scriptural discussion with the Son of Man.
In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful, the Truthful, and the Most Just. I greet all of you once again, thirsty for the truth of God and His righteousness. I greet you all with the greeting words of peace. May Allah's salam alaikum. If you can't answer for what you did, if people have questions about it, the intelligent thing is you shouldn't have done it. And the least intelligent thing is, and when I say least intelligent, I mean if you didn't want to be questioned about it, you shouldn't have let nobody know you did it. Do you understand? I mean, that's just how it is. I mean, brothers is questioning me about taking that vaccine or whatnot. I don't sense to me getting mad. Why did you take that vaccine? When, if I didn't want to be questioned about it, I shouldn't have let them know I did it, huh? So I can't get mad at them for that. So read what the brother had to say, and let him come in here.
Yes, sir.
Question me all he wants.
Yes, sir. The screen name is Boaz, Boaz, Industrial. And it's pretty long, but he starts out by saying, you went down there and got that shot, huh? Mark of beast. After all.
Go ahead.
After all, your number is 666. If y'all believe Adam was a white man because Elijah said so, then that makes the entire foundation of your teachings a lie. Remember that the next time religious gangbanging, that goes for all you black devils. Then he says, the Son of Man needs a vaccine. You must serve a very weak God. I thought you, and I guess he's trying to say niggas, was practicing.
You sure that's a black man? Is that a black man?
No pictures.
Well, what you hiding for? If you got all these names to call people, what you hiding for, man? I wouldn't punk myself like that. If I was talking as tough as you, I'd come out and say, here I am. But I mean that don't mean squat. You know why? Because you're not man enough to come in here and talk to me. I mean, you're doing all this woofing. If you really think you got a case, man, why don't you come in here and talk to me? Instead of doing like, I mean, I grew up whatnot. And you notice, you watch that dog, as long as he behind that fence, boy, he can't raise all the hell. He know that fence between you and him. But brother, when you get to where that gate is and it's open, He shut right up. Because he don't want you to come in there and get him. You understand? The reason he doing all that barking is because he's scared. So the scripture compare you to dogs. Jesus said, don't give that which is holy to the dog. So it ain't no sense to get mad at me because I hear a lot of you calling each other dog. What's up, dog? Anyway, I invited you. Did you send him an invitation? Get him the number?
Yes, sir.
Well, how come he ain't called? Brother Michael, look on there and see if somebody got their hand up. Press *6 if you in the 712 area code conference room. Press *6 and that will unmute you. If you in the 601 conference rooms, either one of them, just press 5* and the brother will see your hand go up and he will unmute your phone. I mean, here, it's amazing to me how many people will take something that's in the Bible and talk about it while they don't understand what it means. The number 666 ain't got nothing to do with no shot that somebody take. The mark of the beast ain't got nothing to do with no shot. What's wrong with you, boy? You I mean, these people, man, I'm telling you, it's sad. It's really sad. You know, I promised President Biden that I would help him. And so I'm doing that. I got some people right now that because they saw me take it, they taking that vaccine. And so I'm, Allah already know that I trust him. You see, when I first stood up, I stepped off the curb in front of a Mack truck to show Allah that, at the time, I didn't realize I was being tried, but I trusted Allah's word. So Allah said, let every soul be subject, humble themselves to the higher power. There's no power, no knowledge, but of God. How we know that's true? And let them have dominion over the earth and over every creeping thing that creepeth. Well, if you give them dominion over those things, you made them the higher powers. Is that right? So I know Allah told me that stuff wasn't going to come near me. I mean, I ain't the one walking around here with guns thinking I need a gun to protect me. I didn't need that. I didn't need that shot to protect me. I did that to help you protect your foolish self. You big dummy. But anyway, it's like when the messenger, hypocrites was chasing him, trying to take his life. He said, I didn't run to try to save my life for me. I ran to try to save this truth to get. Do you understand? And at some point, Allah told him, don't rerun from them no more. Watch what I'll do to them. And then I'll let you see. The messenger, he said, Allah let some of them hypocrites get right to him. Then dropped him right there in front of the messenger's face. And I know that to be true. There's people that thought they was going to do something to me. You ain't going to do nothing to me. You just think you are. And soon, just the evil thought that you have against me or about me is going to cost you. You're going to be punished for that. Up here and asked you, what have I did that has harmed you? What have I done to you? You hate me. Now why? Unmute your phone and tell the people why you hate me. Nigger. I don't care how white you is. You just a nigger. A selfish, miserly, stingy person. A niggard. Now, while I'm at it, say to the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, to the Chief Justice and all of those other 6 justices with him, Chief Justice Baer and Justice Saylor, Justice Todd, Justice Donahue, and Justice Doherty, Justice Witt, Justice Monday. I want to thank you for your just judgment and your overturning the unjust actions of the lower courts. You know, people in this country, they don't even understand how this justice system was set up and why. It was set up to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. That's why most of your lower courts, judges run for office. They get elected and they get, you vote them into office. Now, at the same time, many lower court judges, the reason they are called lower courts is the same reason that horses, dogs, cows, tigers, lions, and bears are called lower life forms. It is because they are not capable of what you call limited reasoning. And they act basically on instinct rather than knowledge. I remember once in a lower court, we told the judge that what you're doing is not right. The judge knew it wasn't right. He said, well, you can appeal it. You can appeal it. That's why they ask you, when you want justice in this country, the unjust people will say, well, how much justice can you afford? Because appeals cost money. Do you understand? So it's set up that, God made this world that the only thing that can keep you from falling victim to it, as Jesus said, when you meet the adversary in the way, agree with him quickly, lest he deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and the officer cast you into prison. Words to that effect. I may not have said it perfectly, but it's not necessary. You get the gist. And I say unto you, you shall not leave there until you have paid the uttermost farthing. And a farthing is a fourth of a penny. They will see if they will drain you dry before you get out of there. That's why I say agree with the adversary quickly. The best protection from an unjust justice system, or a criminal justice system, the best protection you have is to be righteous. Over the righteous. You know, I remember when I was a little boy, I didn't really understand it. But my mom and them used to tell me, boy, if you do wrong, the devil gonna come get you. And that's the truth. Anyway, if I could fuss and go on when Dr. Cosby was mistreated like he was, and I told them, you're gonna pay for that, what you done to him. They've been paying too, you know. But the Supreme Court, when it came in front of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania, let me read what they had to say about it. I'm gonna read some of it. I'm not gonna read all 79 pages, but you don't get to be in the higher courts. Some slip through the cracks. You get some up there that don't belong up there. But when you get to the higher court, you have to have a degree of civilization or civilized thinking. Do you know what the basic civilized thinking is that whenever you are in a position of authority over others, imagine them in your position and you in theirs, and then you do to them what, if your roles were reversed, you would consider to be justice for you. Do you understand? So, there's 7 justices. I don't know how many of them is on that court. I don't know if it's 9 or what, but 7 of them, the opinion was written by Justice Wecht, the first opinion. I didn't go all the way through it. I don't know if he wrote the whole thing or just this part I'm going to read. But and it was decided on June the 30th, 2021. Now, if they took the time to go into that, just like when I read the Mueller report, the Mueller report was 400 and some pages long, and I read it all because they took the time to compile it and give it to us. Then we ought to respect them enough to take the time and read, or else shut your mouth as far as what they did. It's a lot of people talking about this a dark day. You know why you think it's a dark day? It's because your mind is filled with darkness. You don't believe in justice. You believe in, if I like you, I'll let you go. If I don't like you, I'm gonna throw the book at you. That's not justice. Justice would have dictated that man never would have even been on trial. And I'm gonna show you in these first few pages of what this judge, the Justice Wecht, wrote in the opinion. In 2005, Montgomery County District Attorney Bruce Castor learned that Andrea Constant had reported that William Cosby had sexually assaulted her in 2004 at his Cheltenham home residence, along with his top deputy prosecutor and experienced detectives. District Attorney Castor thoroughly investigated Constand's claim. In evaluating the likelihood of a successful prosecution of Cosby, the district attorney foresaw difficulties with Constand's credibility as a witness based in part upon her decision not to file a complaint promptly. District Attorney Castor further determined that a prosecution would be frustrated because there was no corroborating forensic evidence and because testimony from other potential claimants against Cosby likely was inadmissible under governing laws of evidence. The collective weight of these considerations led District Attorney Castor to conclude that unless Cosby confessed, there was insufficient credible and admissible evidence upon which any charge against Mr. Cosby related to the Constand incident could be proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Seeking some measure of justice for Constand, District Attorney Castor decided that the Commonwealth would decline to prosecute Cosby for the incident involving Constand, thereby allowing Cosby to be forced to testify in a subsequent civil action under penalty of perjury without the benefit of his Fifth Amendment privilege against self-incrimination, unable to invoke any right not to testify in the civil proceedings. Now remember Bill Cosby at that time, this ain't he didn't write this. I'm pausing for a minute. Bill Cosby was a successful movie star, a successful, famous man, famous person. And if you've been in America, you know famous people are known to try to avoid any type of appearance that anything that would sully or detract from their notoriety. Huh? They known to settle things out of court. Huh? Not because they're guilty, but because they don't want their name dragged out there in no public scandal. Right? Okay. Now it says, Cosby relied upon the district attorney's declination meaning declining, refusing, declination, and proceeded to provide 4 sworn depositions. During those depositions, Cosby made several incriminating statements. District Attorney Castor's successors did not feel bound by his decision. Now, I'm not even a lawyer, and I know that the district attorney, as long as he is district attorney, he's not representing himself or his personal opinions and personal beliefs. He represents the whole, the state. He represents the government. And his word, when he gives his word, that is the government giving its word. You notice when they go to trials in state courts, they say, the judge will ask them, is the state ready to proceed? He don't ask you, is Is Mr. Castor, are you ready to proceed? No. Is the state ready to proceed? And the state representative says the state is ready, Your Honor. Huh? Okay. So now, the state had given Mr. Cosby its word that, look, you testify and you tell us some of the stuff that happened with you and Miss Constant, and don't lie. And if we don't get you on a lie, then we're not going to prosecute you and can bring no criminal charges against you and drag your name nowhere. And then you can take this up with Miss Constant and them out of court or whatever you want to do, whatever settlement that you all come to, because that's what it finally amounted to. They, wealthy people, it's sad that wealthy people and famous people are targets all of the time in this country. If you wealthy, if you got plenty of money, people will try their best to get next to you, and crooks especially. And if they, okay. It says, Cosby relied upon the district attorney's declination and proceeded to provide for 4 sworn depositions. 4 of them. During those depositions, Cosby made several self-incriminating statements. District Attorney Castor's successors did not feel bound by Castor's decision and decided to prosecute Cosby, notwithstanding that undertaking, that prior agreement. I remember I was looking at Billy Jack, and the sheriff was a crook, and Billy Jack, he told the sheriff, he said, well, when those who are sworn break the law, then there is no law, just a struggle for survival. That's the one thing that from the time I was a little boy, and you know where this type of thing came from, especially it came from Southern white people. You remember Django? Huh? You remember the young man that was playing, what's his name? That little fella that, but anyway, he said that a deal ain't a deal until we shake on it. Is that what he told him? He said, that piece of paper don't mean squat, but your word, huh? That Southern white man, that's the one thing that you could count on with Southern white people. That if they gave their word, it meant something. And consequently, that's where our fathers, our daddies, my daddy used to say the same thing. But, he was from the South. Said, boy, if your word ain't nothing, you ain't nothing. Huh? So the district attorney's office, when it changed representatives, the representative decided that he didn't have to keep the word of that office. Huh? The Supreme Court justice the 7 of them didn't agree with that. It's just like when an agreement was signed. It's just like when the Congress, many of those Republicans, I don't forgot how many of them signed a petition and sent it to Iran and told them don't deal with, don't get in no bargain, no agreement with Barack Obama on this nuclear deal or whatnot. According to what they have been telling us, that foreign policy is conducted by the President of the United States, not by Congress. They have oversight, but they ain't got no business doing no in around the president. If they can't convince him that what he wants to do is wrong, and they can't override him with the kind of overriding that they what 3/4 or whatever, well then they just shut up. That's what they're supposed to do. But anyway, I'm trying to show you. And then when Donald Trump got in there, he broke the word not of Barack Obama, he broke the word of the United States. And that's why they asking President Biden, well, how we know you gonna hold on to if you come back and we make an agreement with you? Well, we don't know what the next fella gonna do. You ain't nothing great about a person that you can't trust their word. And it ain't nothing great about a country if you can't trust the word of its government. Regardless to who's in the government, if an agreement had been made, you have no business breaking it. Now, if I'm saying something that ain't right, y'all hear me? Unmute your phone and tell me what's wrong with what I said. Damn coward. Anyway, so Castor's successor, this D.A. Castor's successor did not feel bound by his decision and decided to prosecute Cosby, notwithstanding that prior undertaking. The fruits of Cosby's reliance upon D.A. Castor's decision, Cosby's sworn inculpatory testimony, were then used by D.A. Castor's successors against Cosby at Cosby's criminal trial. We granted allowance of appeal to determine whether D.A. Castor's decision not to prosecute Cosby in exchange for his testimony must be enforced against the Commonwealth. Factual and procedural history. Now, you're gonna get into some stuff that happened, and then I'm gonna stop it. I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but I do want to get to how Miss Constant, just outright lied. See, if you ain't lived and ain't experienced nothing, then people can tell you a lot of stuff that don't make sense. But when you done lived long enough and experienced enough things, you can tell when somebody is pulling your leg, somebody trying to pull the wool over your eye, and said, no, that don't go together, what you just said there. Now, listen. It says, in the fall of 2002, Angela Constant, a Canadian-born former professional basketball player. She wasn't no child. She's a grown woman. Remember that now. You know, all of you women equality people out there and all of that. Remember that now. Okay. She's a professional basketball player, was employed as the director of basketball operations at Temple University. She wasn't no student. She's a grown woman. Now, listen. It was in this capacity that Constant first met Cosby, who had close ties to and heavily involved with the university. Cosby had been helping that university long time before he met Angela. Huh? All right. Andrea Constant. Okay. That's her name? Okay. Excuse me for saying Angela. Andrea Constant. Now that fall, she, along with a few other Temple administrators, showed Cosby around the university's then recently renovated basketball facilities. Now, over the course of several telephone conversations concerning the renovations, Cosby and Constant developed a personal relationship. Soon after this relationship began, Cosby invited Constant to his Cheltenham residence. When Constant arrived, Cosby greeted her, escorted her to a room, and left her alone to eat dinner and drink wine. Cosby later, now this is the testimony. Now, understand something. They are recounting, this justice is recounting testimony that was given in the courtroom. Do you understand? Okay. It ain't like, he ain't saying that it's a fact. He's simply saying this is what was testified to. Do you understand? Okay. When Cosby later returned and sat next to Constant on a couch and placed his hand on her thigh. Constant was not bothered by Cosby's advance. What? Now, wait a minute. Now, she just did the first time they got together. He put his hand on her thigh and she didn't take it off. I didn't hear you. Okay, now, there's Constant was not bothered by Cosby's advance, even though it was the first time that any physical contact had occurred between the two. Shortly thereafter, Constant left the residence. So now let me get this straight. Who was Bill Cosby and who was Andrea Constant? Bill Cosby was a world famous entertainer. Who's Andrea Constant? A basketball coach. Unknown by the world. He's sitting there next to a man who's known by the world. Now, do you suppose that she just, didn't know? Now she wasn't no child. She's a grown woman. The man put his hand on her thigh. Woman do. I done been out with women before. If you touch the woman, especially when you just getting to know her, you put your hand on her thigh or something. If she don't want it there, she'll take it off and say, "Hey, wait a minute, slow down, man." Huh? Is that right? Well, she wasn't bothered by that, which tells me that she wanted to get closer to him. What does that tell? Reading that, I'm gonna let the sisters answer me on that. You know, all you sisters out there, am I misreading that? What am I misunderstanding? What do you suppose was going through her mind when she found that this multimillionaire was attracted to her? What do you suppose was going through her mind? You think she was unhappy about that? Okay, let's go further. I mean, see, these Supreme Court justices ain't no fools. Now let's go further. Now look, how many of y'all think I got a problem with women that think that I'm just out to get women or I'm down on the woman? Come on, I want to hear it. Tell me what make you think that I somehow got it in for women. See, if you said it, you'd have to come in here and show me what respecting women and respecting their intelligence. It seems to me you have a problem respecting intelligence of a woman if you saying that Bill Cosby somehow took advantage of this woman who let him as though she was 5 years old. The woman was grown, and by not taking it off, she encouraged it. I didn't hear you. Okay, let's go on. Somebody got something to say? All right, let's go on. Now, Constant was not bothered by Cosby's advance, even though it was the first time that any physical contact had occurred between the two. Shortly thereafter, Constant left the residence. Now, as the personal nature of the relationship progressed, Cosby eventually met Constant's mother and sister, both of whom attended one of Cosby's comedy performances. Soon thereafter, Cosby invited Constant to return to his home for dinner. Constant arrived at the residence and again ate alone in the same room in which she had eaten during her first visit. When Constant finished eating, Cosby approached and sat next to her on the couch. At first, the two discussed Constant's desire to work as a sports broadcaster. Well, now it's getting interesting. Huh? But Cosby soon attempted physical contact. Cosby reached over to Constant and attempted to unbutton her pants. When she leaned forward him from doing so, Cosby immediately ceased his effort. But you notice as she leaned forward, she still don't say she told him to stop that. Huh? What, is she dumb, deaf and dumb? Can't talk? I mean, well, this was rich. It says, he immediately ceased his efforts when she leaned forward. And Constant believed that her actions had communicated to Cosby clearly that she did not want to engage in a physical relationship with him. How many of y'all believe that action is dictated that? Unmute your phone and tell me how did her leaning forward the last time? Then she leaned forward. this next time. But she still ain't talking. But somehow that communicated that she didn't want to be touched. Now remember, I didn't just fall off no turnip truck. And I told you, my history ain't no history of no upright, righteous man. I was out there when I was out there. I know what goes on out there. I done been to the clubs. I done did things that I'm not proud of. But I ain't never raped no woman. I ain't never forced myself on no woman that didn't want me. I didn't have to. And I ain't no millionaire. And neither did Bill Cosby have to force himself on a woman. Let's go on. You know, man that did as much good for us as Dr. Cosby did. Man, I used to rush home to watch I Spy. It was just cool. Robert Cope, they worked together, and you know, I used to just feel proud to see a black man in a role that was serious. It was a semi-comedy, but I Spy was you know, they really did some serious stuff. And Bill Cosby wasn't no lapdog. And so, you know, I grew up watching that and listening to his jokes that was clean. You know, I used to listen to Pick Me Malcolm and Richard Pryor and all of them, but Bill Cosby stood out because he could be funny and yet dignified. And you had to admire that. Not only that, the man was a philanthropist. He was always donating money to, look what he gave, I heard, $20 million. He was just giving money out to different, you know, helping people. Look at all of them black people that he put to work, like Felicia Rashad and Jamal Warner, and all of them gave them a start, gave them, I don't know if it was famous. But this world got a saying, no good deed will go unpunished. Huh? Well, let's go further with this. It says, Constant believed that her actions had communicated to Cosby clearly that she did not want to engage in a physical relationship with him. Well, what was she doing at his house? I mean, why come on? Why not just talk to him on the phone? I mean, give me some credit for having a little sense. You didn't want the relationship, but you kept going to his house. Okay, well, we come back to that. So, and it says she expected that no further incidents like this one would occur. The only way no such incidents like that one could not be expected to occur is that you don't go back over his house no more. I didn't hear you. You know, I'm just as square as I can be. I don't know nothing about this stuff. So one of y'all school me. I mean, is Is that how you expect sister not to be hit on? Is you keep going back and forth to the man that hit on you? Anyway, toward the end of 2003, Cosby invited Constant to meet at the Foxwoods Casino in Connecticut. Constant accepted the invitation and once at the casino, dined with Cosby and a casino employee, Tom Cantone, excuse me. After dinner, Cantone walked Constant to her hotel room. Cosby called Constant and asked her to meet him for dessert in his room. Constant agreed. When she arrived, she sat on the edge of Cosby's bed as the two discussed their customary topics: Temple athletics and sports broadcasting. That was the topics that was discussed at first. Cosby then reclined on the bed next to Constant. Eventually, he drifted off to sleep. Now, what happened after he reclined on the bed? She ain't said what was going on then. Did you continue talking or what? They just overlooked that part, right? I didn't hear you. Now, but look what she said next. Eventually, Constant decided. Let me make sure I got this right. Cosby then reclined on the bed next to Constant. Well, I guess she was laying there next to him, huh? I didn't hear you. Eventually, he drifted off to sleep. Off to sleep after what? After remaining in Cosby's room for a few minutes after he was asleep. Obviously, this was after he was asleep. She remained in the room, in Cosby's room, for a few minutes. Constant left and returned to her own room. Now, Constant interpreted Cosby's actions as another sexual. Well, what about her actions? What did he interpret her actions as? Didn't hear you. Ain't nobody talking. Yeah. Okay. So, notwithstanding these unwelcome advances, according to her, notwithstanding these unwelcome advances, according to her, you notice the way the judge put it. Notwithstanding these unwelcome advances, Constant still regarded Cosby as a mentor, remained grateful for his career advice and assistance, and did not feel physically threatened for his career advice and assistance, and did not feel physically threatened or intimidated. Eventually, Constant decided to leave her job at Temple and return to Canada to work as a masseuse. A masseuse. All right, I can get with that. In January 2004, Constant went to Cosby's Cheltenham residence to discuss that decision. You run to Dr. Cosby's residence now to tell him you done quit Temple and you're a masseuse now. As on her previous visits to Cosby's home, Constant entered through the kitchen door. On this occasion, however, Constant noticed that Cosby already had placed a glass of water and a glass of wine on the kitchen table. Well, obviously you had already been drinking wine and water with him before. I mean, that's common. That's the process of deduction. And you had called and let him know you was coming over. She didn't say he called her. Did he? Did he? She had his number. His number. So she was coming over, obviously. And so, as on her previous visits to Cosby's home, Constant entered through the kitchen door. And on this occasion, however, Constant noticed that Cosby already had placed a glass of water and a glass of wine on the kitchen table. While she sat at the table with Cosby and discussed her future, Constant initially chose not to sample the wine because she had not yet eaten and did not want to consume alcohol on an empty stomach. At Cosby's insistence, however, Constant began to drink. At one point, at Cosby's insistence, and she a grown woman, ain't she? I hear you. Come on now, y'all sitting up out there. What he made her drink it, right? he made her drink the wine. Oh, man, see, I've been out there in that world. You can't tell me that. I mean, I done had when I with women that said I didn't want to. And I said, all right, yeah, and vice versa. But now, let's see. He reached out. It says at one point, Constant rose to use the restroom. When she returned, Cosby was standing next to the kitchen table with 3 blue pills in his hand. Didn't have no red, but he had 3 blue pills. Now, listen to what she said happened. He said, he reached out and offered the pills to Constant, telling her that the pills were her friends and that they would help take the edge off. What edge? The nervousness that you seem to have had when we got a little close to each other before. That these pills take the edge off. Now, you're gonna tell me that this grown woman didn't know what that meant? Come on now, tell me you really don't think she understood what that meant. Okay, let's go on. Said these would take the edge off. Constant took the pills from Cosby and swallowed them. This is the judge writing this now. The two then sat back down and resumed their discussion of Constant's planned departure from Temple. Constant soon began experiencing double vision, according to her. Her mouth became dry and she slurred her speech. Boy, she's very analytical, ain't she? I need. Do you suppose when people is, I know when I got high, got drunk, I, as far as I was concerned, I was talking fast. She had the wherewithal to talk about her speech was slurred. Huh? Didn't hear you. Okay, now that's just, this woman is she's mighty cool to be able to describe what she sounds like while she high. Huh? Well, anyway, Constance soon began experiencing double vision. Her mouth became dry and she slurred her speech. Although Constance could not immediately identify the source of her sudden difficulties, you just took the pills, lady. What she means she couldn't identify the source of it. I remember I took some Benadryl. You know, my nose, them allergies and stuff. In the wintertime, I was getting ready to speak at Savior's Day, and my nose kept running. And I know that Benadryl, it'll dry it up. And I knew I was gonna be there for about 6 to 8 hours, so I said I better take 2. And I took 2 of them little pink Benadryls. What is them things? What? 5 or 10 milligrams each. But man, I got up there and was talking. I said, boy, maybe I took too much of these things. Because I started feeling, you know, kind of heavy and half out, you know, like that stuff kicking in. You know, it dried up. And I said, oh, Allah, please don't let me be done overtook this thing. I was standing up there talking to myself, thinking to myself. And I made it through it. But I knew where that was coming from. I knew where that feeling was coming from. I had just swallowed it. Do you understand? She didn't know this sudden difficulties. She knew that something was wrong. Okay. Cosby tried. I mean, she was in court testifying like she was talking to kindergartners. Because, you know, you're going to tell me that you a grown woman and that's a grown man, and somehow you're going to paint the picture that this man was doing something he ain't had no business, and all of the time you saying that he offered this to you and told you this will take the edge off. What does that mean? She didn't say, well, what do you mean by that? Did she? The previous meetings with her and him, he had touched her thigh. He had reached there to unbutton her pants. Well, what was his intentions was communicated, huh? And if she didn't want to go there, she could have said, now look, if this keep up, I'm gonna have to stop coming by here, right? And he would have stopped. But she kept going by there. But anyway, let's see. When Constance attempted to stand up, wait a minute, I'm missing something. It says her sudden difficulties. Let's go back to that. I don't want to confuse nobody. I don't want you to think I'm overlooking that. Although Constance could not immediately identify the source of her sudden difficulties, she knew that something was wrong. And Cosby tried to reassure her. He told her that she had to relax. He said, just relax. He told her they were going to take the edge off, didn't he? Huh? This will help you relax, right? Okay. When Constance attempted to stand up, she needed Cosby's assistance to steady herself. Cosby guided her to a sofa in another room so that she could lie down. Constance, she had already laid next to him on the bed before, right? I didn't hear you. All right, now. Let's keep up. Constance felt weak and was unable to talk. She started slipping out of consciousness. Moments later, Constance came to suddenly, finding Cosby sitting behind her. Constance came to suddenly, finding Cosby sitting behind her on the sofa. She remained unable to move or speak. With Constance physically incapable of stopping Cosby or of telling him to stop. I guess them pills took the edge off, huh? I didn't hear you. All right. Cosby began fondling her breasts and penetrating her vagina with his fingers. Cosby then took Constance's hand and used it to relieve himself. At some point, now I thought she couldn't move. Didn't she say she couldn't move? Huh? All right. At some point, Constance lost consciousness. Have you ever got so high that you passed out? I have. You remember I told you about it. I went to this party with this sister. Her name, well, if Gladys is listening, her and I know it's the truth. Went to the party and got to drinking that pluck. And we call wine pluck, you know, because it thump you upside the head if you drink too much. But anyway, I was drinking wine and drinking alcohol, you know, that whiskey. And I overdid it. Now, I done escorted her there. Next thing you know, I'm so out of it that I feel like throwing up, and I had to go in there and try to lay down. I left her in the party. I went into the room and fell on the bed. And the bed looked like it was, you know, everything was spinning. And the next thing you know, it was morning. And I couldn't tell you a thing that happened to me after I laid on that bed. Do you understand? I didn't remember nothing from the night before. And when I saw her again, she asked me, "What kind of man is you?" I felt lower than her hand's kneecap. She showed, but I never did that again. So I paid for that because she dropped me like a bad habit. so I know you don't remember nothing after you done passed out. Now that's that. If somebody had asked me, well, what happened after you passed out? Do you remember what happened? I said, no, I don't remember. But now, and I guarantee you, I don't even remember everything that I had to drink. I just remember that bad episode because she helped me remember that. What kind of man is you? You let's go and meet out to the party, and then you in there and passed out. Some people could have done anything to me. That's what she said. And all I could say was, you right. You know, I think I was 20 years old then. Anyway. It says so when Constance eventually awakened on Cosby's couch in the early morning hours, she discovered that her pants were unzipped and that her bra was raised and out of place. Constance got up, adjusted her clothing, and prepared to leave the residence. She found Cosby standing in a doorway, wearing a robe and slippers. Cosby told Constance that there was a muffin and a cup of tea on the table for her. She took a sip of the tea, broke off a piece of the muffin, and left. Now, after the January 2004 incident, Constance and Cosby continued to talk over the telephone about issues involving Temple University athletics. Now, this was after she quit the thing. She kept on conversating with him. Now, in March of that year, Cosby invited Constant to dinner at a Philadelphia restaurant. She accepted the invitation in hopes of confronting Cosby about the January episode. What episode? Okay. But the two did not discuss the matter during dinner. After Cosby invited Constant to his residence, she agreed. Afterward, after that dinner, he invited her another time to come to his residence, and she agreed again. Once there, Constant attempted to broach the subject by asking Cosby to identify the pills that he had provided to her. She then tried to ask him why he took advantage of her when she was under the influence of the pills. Well, first of all, Cosby told her these pills will help take the edge off. Ain't that what he told her? She took them pills after he told her what they was gonna do. Okay, let's go on. Cosby, she said Cosby was evasive and would not respond directly. You know why? Because he was trying to figure out, okay, here we go. Now the shakedown. Huh? Yeah. Realizing that Cosby was not going to answer her questions, Constant got up and left. She did not report to the authorities what Cosby had done to her. A few months later, Constant moved back to her native Canada. She spoke with Cosby over the telephone, mostly about an upcoming Toronto performance that he had scheduled. Cosby invited Constant and her family to the show, which especially excited Constant's mother, who had attended two of Cosby's other performances and who brought a gift for Cosby to the show. Constant kept the 2004 incident to herself for nearly a year, until one night in January 2000, bolted awake, crying over what? She said she passed out. So what could she have been bolted awake for? I didn't hear you. See, you can't have it both ways. I can't on one hand say that I passed out and then start happened to me after I passed out. I didn't hear you. Now you see why they dismissed this stuff? This was all about defaming a man that many of us admired. You just can't stand it when you see black people admiring a black man, woman. You got to find some kind of way to sully that. Which of you got such a what you call stellar? I'm talking to you white people. Do you have a record of helping as many people as Dr. Cosby? What have you done for anybody? To us, but what have you actually done for us? That's why I told that brother the other evening that I love Joe Biden. I've seen what Joe Biden did for us. Even if some of us ain't had sense enough to recognize what the man was doing. The only reason Barack Obama, one of the major reasons that Barack Obama was a two-term president was because of Joe Biden. Joe Biden could have sunk that presidency anytime he wanted to, just by getting out there doing what they accused him of being. All he had to do was just go out there and just start saying things that were what you call embarrassing. Then it would have fell back on Obama, say this is what he chose for vice president. See, this man didn't have sense enough to choose a running mate that could keep his dignity and all that kind of stuff. And you needn't think people didn't try to get Joe Biden, some of them on the slide, try to get him to sink President Obama's presidency. Because they did not want black people to feel any pride at all. You notice, don't none of them challenge me on the things that I say. Why you don't challenge me? I'm just a little inferior darky. Why don't you come on in here and challenge me on what I say and put me in my place? You know, as you see the judge just sifting through the stuff that she said, it made no sense at all. And you're gonna tell me that this man assaulted you and what kept on going back for seconds and thirds and fourths. One question could have. Why'd you keep going back? She wanted a payday. That's what she wanted. And didn't want just that payday, and then wanted to go get another payday. Huh? Just milk that cow. Didn't care about ruining that man's reputation. They didn't care about that. You heard me question Christine Ruley, and you heard me question Jewel Allison. And Gloria Allred, when she saw it did with them, she didn't even want to bring them of her people on with me. And I didn't disrespect them. I was just asking them questions and showing you how they. Then to top it off, they first, when they came out with that stuff talking about Dr. Cosby had raped these women and all that kind of thing, when the first one that they brought up was Christine Ruley. Right in this forum. And I asked her, did Bill Cosby rape you? She said no. But they had put it on the news that he had raped them women. And then they started changing it to indecent assault. Indecent assault. And then to top it off, they elected Donald Trump for president. After defaming a decent black man, they put the most corrupt white man that was on the scene here, put him in the highest office in the land. And sitting up talking about you can grab them by the genitals, and they let you do it if you're a star. Made him president. Yeah. Better not say nothing to me. You right to be quiet. Now, let's see, what did I want to talk about this evening? So I thank the Supreme Court in this state of Pennsylvania for being honorable men. You know, that's what's worth saving. So I'm going to, I'm going to get on into some scriptures here now. I need to expand your mind a little bit. Anybody have something they want to ask me on that? Okay. Brother Jamal, you hear back from that fellow who said I got the mark of the beast? The mark of the beast?
No, sir.
I wonder if he's aware that a beast is naturally afraid of man. Do I act like I'm scared of y'all? Look to me like you're the one with the mark of the beast. That's a characteristic of a beast. He knows he ain't got no win against man. To be able to overcome man. Just like the lie you told about us saying that the white man was the first man. The messenger didn't teach us that the white man is the first man. How could the white man be the first man and the first man was God? What are you talking about? I told you. See, they people print anything like Donald Trump. He get out there and print something and forget all about the lie he printed and come back and contradict his own lie. Huh? Yeah. Because it's just about feeding, like one of the believers was telling me about how when these places that raise pigs and stuff, that when they're getting ready to feed the pig, they get old trash and stuff like cardboard, plastic, and you name it, and grind it all up into real fine particles and newspapers and mix it with a little something else and feed it to the swine. The swine is a walking sewer. And so he eat that, So that's why you got people walk around here with boo-boo for brains. You see, they don't realize that their mind is gone. A crazy man don't know he crazy, but a sane man knows a crazy man when he see one. So, I look at these people. They don't. You got people in government that don't care anything about the reputation of the United States government. And yet they in government, which tells you that If you don't hurry up and do something, you ain't gonna have no government after a while. Once the world that has respected you as an authority, as a leader, once you lose that respect, the next thing you're gonna lose is your government. Okay. Now, let me read something to you. This is I'm trying to help you save yourself. And I'm doing this because I told I said it publicly, that if Joe Biden wins, I'm going to do all I can to help him. And I'm going to do all I can to help him do whatever he's trying to do of good. He wants to restore the soul of the United States. And I'm going to show you something. I want you to look at this and listen to this one Caucasian. I'm going to let the black man talk too. But listen to this Caucasian and what he says about what needs to be done. And you will see that the messenger was right. There are white people in this country that believe in God and submit to God. Do you understand? That's what a Muslim is one who submits to God, one who submits to truth. You see these people openly, like that Ron Johnson fella, he out there openly telling you that he don't want critical race theory. That's just another way of saying he don't want the true history of what white people in this country did to black people. He don't want that taught in school. Why? Because the truth of it condemns him in the eyes of his own children. It's hard to be. If I was a child and the history of me doing to another people what white people did to us, if that had been taught to me as a child, I wouldn't have no respect for my daddy. Not after he done taught me the word of God and taught me to do unto others as you'd have others do unto you, and that freedom is the right of all human beings. And I'd say, well, Daddy, why did you deprive them people of their freedom? That's why he don't want it taught. But he'll lie and say black people are your worst enemy. When even these people talking about they want a white country. You got plenty. You had a white country when you brought us here. Who was in charge of England? Wasn't that a white country? Didn't you try to get away from the king of a white country? Matter of fact, you declared war on that king because he was a tyrant in a white country. Damn idiot. You say things as though you talking about you want a white country as though that ain't never happened before. That's what you started with, a white country. You wasn't happy. Don't you worry. You should be trying to help me then. If you want a white country, help me get my people. I'll leave you. I promise you, I'll get out your way, man. Get me and my people out of your way. We ain't got to stay here with and go through all this hell with you. Because you about to low down something. So I want you to listen to this.
No, absolutely. I mean, just shout out to the New York
Just give me a minute.
Amazing journalism.
Let me see why this
This
thing.
40-minute video kind of taking us through this really disturbing, seeing just how close a lot of bad, really more bad things could have happened that day. And I mean, you're right, Nicole. One of the things that we've been hearing from Republicans is that now this is going to be led by Democrats, that there's an equal commission slash committee, which is what they voted down just weeks ago. So that part of it is a little bit confusing, right? They have the chance. They sent Representative McCarthy did to have these conversations to negotiate with House Democrats and House Democratic leadership to figure out what this the 9/11 style commission could look like, and they basically got almost every single thing they wanted. And so now we're going to move forward. Like Frank was saying, people are probably not going to have a lot of faith in it. Republicans won't, because of what we've already seen. One, the fact that they have voted, they've already started to kind of talk about how much a fair process. They've also spent a lot of time, months.
You know, the biggest problem I find with you all, with my people, is that you don't really pay enough attention, because you standing up, call yourself what they gonna do this and they gonna do that, which is actually giving them license to pretend that they believe in things. In the first place, you know, and I know, and so do everybody who have watched the process. Everybody knows that the Republicans, that those rhinos, those people who pretend to be the Republican Party that are actually the Tea Party, everybody knows that those people don't they wasn't interested in having an investigation, because many of them was on the phone with the people who was attacking. And if they're to get investigated, they get them phone records and stuff, then they will find out who was in cahoots with that stuff that was going on. And so, it's gonna come out. You know, in the first place, you know, the only way the truth would not come out is that if the liars could frighten the people who know the truth into being silent. But that day gone, man. I'm showing you that. You know, I dare you to call up here and threaten me. Unmute your phone and throw a threat at me. You don't have to fear evil people. Not today. The time for that is gone. Stand for right. And you are not standing alone, but Allah is standing with you. As he said, I will dwell with them and shall be in them. So, I want you to listen.
I guess we're in July here or June here, months talking about and whitewashing what happened on January 6th. And that aspect of it has been, I think, confusing for the people that were there, who weren't just, it wasn't just Nancy Pelosi. They weren't just looking for AOC, right? They were looking to according to them, the people, the rioters and the insurrectionists, to hang the vice president of the United States at that time, right? And so this.
Now, I want to tell you again. This was their plan in a nutshell. Now they wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi, kill Mike Pence. Now remember now, Mike Pence is the vice president who had been loyal to Donald Trump, right? By them going in there saying, hang Mike Pence, when Donald Trump declared martial law, he was going to use Mike Pence as a martyr, and say that them couldn't have been Trump supporters because they killed Mike Pence. And they were shouting, kill Mike Pence. And they were Antifa. They was people pretending to be Trump supporters, but their statement about killing Mike Pence and murdering the vice president is proof that they wasn't Trump supporters, because they killed my most loyal follower, my poor vice president, and we will make them pay. Then he get his phony attorney general and his phony people to go up there and talk about arresting it. Oh, they'd have found Joe Biden and all of them complicit. And you, like a fool, would have went for it. Okay, keep on letting people play with your government and take that oath of office for a joke. What you make them take an oath for if you're not going to hold them to it? If you ain't going to hold them to the oath, you need to stop giving it. And just when they get in there and just say, you're gonna do your best in this office, yeah, I'm gonna do my best. And I will go ahead. Don't make them take an oath, since the oath don't mean nothing. Man swore to uphold the Constitution, and I think it's in the Constitution that what Congress was doing, that was constitutionally ordered about the transition of power from one administration to the next. And you got people sitting up in there, lawmakers, going against the Constitution. And you letting them get away with it? They ought to be scared to open their mouth now, not running around having rallies and all that kind of stuff. They should be looking to see who coming to get them. The FBI should be knocking on every one of them's door and tell them, you come with us. You know why these people were so brazen with flying that rebel flag in your capital after they declared war on this country? I'll tell you why. It's because the very president that saved your union with a union army, because at the end, he didn't know that the right thing to have done was to have made an example out of those people who tried to forcibly destroy this union. They should have been tried for treason, and they should have been executed. So that the next time somebody decided they was going to try something like that, they would ask themselves, do I want to put my life on this? Most people don't understand when we say, surely my prayers, my sacrifice My life and my death are all for Allah. That means we will fight if we have to. And when Lincoln didn't execute them, they executed him. The very people that he just made promise they wouldn't take up arms against this country ever again, they got away with just a promise they wouldn't do it no more. They murdered him. And they at it again. Oh, I'm just telling you. You know, these people so bold, they get out in front of you and tell you, the Second Amendment is there so we could take up arms against the government of the United States. Oh, that's what the Second Amendment is for? Well, then why did Lincoln make you swear to never take up arms against the United States again then? If the Second Amendment means you're supposed to be able to take up arms against the government, then Lincoln ain't got no business telling nobody that he didn't have no business telling nobody they didn't have the right to take up arms against the government if they got displeased with it. But you let Matt Gaetz and that old silly woman, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and all them other sycophants out there, you let them get away with punking you in front of the world. They ain't nothing but a bunch of cowards. Anyway, just listen.
It wasn't about them just looking for Democrats. This was about disrupting this process and possibly getting their hands on lawmakers. And I think the fact that it seems like this country may never get to the bottom of this in a way that we can all move forward and continue to have a discussion about how this won't happen again is something that people are on the Hill, even Republicans, are pretty disappointed with.
So Matt Dowd, I have two thoughts. I wonder if you agree, and then I'll just turn this over to you. One, everything about the response to the insurrection.
Now look, I want you to really pay attention to what Matt Dowd has to say. You know, that's the thing that, see, it's a lot of intelligent white people in this country that makes it not be a pipe dream to try to save this country. But you're gonna have to get off the sideline, man. You're gonna have to start speaking up for yourself. You're gonna have to start realizing that just because somebody got white skin, that don't mean that they are part of you. Putin's skin is white. He don't give a damn about America. You care more for Russia than Putin ever cared about the United States. Anytime, let me explain something to you. Anytime you try to establish justice for others, even your foes, then that is a righteous cause. That's what righteousness is. Justice is either you believe in it all the time or you don't really believe in justice any of the time. You are not just truthful some of the time. If you believe in truth, you are truthful all the time. Do you understand? Every creature that God made is that creature all the time. Huh? It's like people, you notice the caterpillar, and he's called a worm-like creature. A caterpillar is not a worm. He is a worm-like creature. Because at some point in his life, you get a chance to see the rest of him. He starts off eating leaves and eating, they can devastate crops. But at some point in time, he changes and becomes a helper of pollination and for crops. You know, he's a devil and a saint, angel at the same time. do you understand? And so likewise, you know, we've lived, ain't none of us been righteous. And the scripture says that there is none righteous. No, not one. And then no wonder the book says, what are these that are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they? Who are these that's got clean minds now? And where did they come from? He said, sir, you know, these are they who came through great tribulation and have washed their minds in the blood, in the life-giving understanding of the Lamb of God. Huh? There you go. So, but listen to this Caucasian telling, he lays it out what needs to happen. Watch this.
And Donald Trump's role in inciting it has been bipartisan. Both the decision to impeach him, the decision to convict him, the decision in the House, insurrection, and thoughts. I wonder if you agree, and then I'll just turn this over to you. One, everything about the response to the insurrection and Donald Trump's role in inciting it has been bipartisan. Both the decision to impeach him, the decision to convict him, the decision in the House to have a bipartisan commission to investigate, and even the vote in the Senate. Now, it all came up short for that to come to pass, but the only thing that's partisan is the cover-up. The only thing that has one party involved is the cover-up, and that party is the Republican Party. So I actually think the politics of a select committee for the Democrats are fantastic. I think they should start tomorrow, and this hearing should be in prime time.
I completely agree with you, Nicole. I mean, I have to say, just sounding off something what Frank said, watching that video, I mean, you know me, Nicole, I'm a pretty zen person. I do all my stuff. I'm pretty zen. It makes me so angry. It makes me so angry. Not only just angry at what Donald Trump and all of that, and obviously the people that did it and everything they were involved in, which they should be held accountable. But these people were lied to, incited, encouraged to do this, right? They were lied to, incited, and encouraged to do this by our leaders in this country. And every other moment in our history when we've had an attack on our democracy, as this was, the country united, the leaders came together, whether it was World War II, whether it was after 9/11, as you fully know well, all of those things. That is the exact opposite thing is happening in this case. And it's fully, the people that I'm most angry at, Donald Trump is gone and we have to deal with him and all of that. But it's the Republicans in office today, not only in Washington, D.C. and around the country, that are just looking away from this, either explaining away or just looking away and not wanting to talk about what just happened. And watching that 40-minute video and watching all of this happen, it makes you so angry that we have a political party in our country that does not care. And not only do they not care about finding out the truth, They don't care about finding out the truth. They actually don't care about their own voters. They don't care about their own voters. They'll cut them loose as quickly as they got into trouble. And if somebody, as I've said this before, if somebody is willing to lie to you, not share your values, and not care about you, they think you're a Yahoo. All these Republicans think all these voters that they have as their base are Yahoos, and they're just fully willing to go along. And
now, you see what Yahoo mean now, huh? They think you're stupid. What did Trump say? I could go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody, and I wouldn't live no support from these Yahoos, huh? Just somebody looking for a thrill, huh? Where's the fight? Just feet swift and to run into mischief, huh? Hands that shed innocent blood. A proud look. Even call themselves the Proud Boys, huh? Everything that the Lord hates, that's what they are. False witnesses that speak lies. More lying so-called evangelists, evangelicals. Just lying, like false witnesses, pretending that God sent them, God called them. God ain't called none of them fools. You got to be a fool, because to come out and imitate a representative of God, to show yourself as a representative of God when you know you're not, says that you really don't believe God exists. Because if you thought God really existed, you'd be afraid to come out and do that. Go out there and represent yourself as a police officer. Go get a police uniform and put it on and paint your car, or go buy you a car and put all the trappings on it that's on a police car. Let's see you do that. Go do it. You know why you don't see no lot of people doing that? It's because they know the police, the real police, will come get them. Is that right? Well, then why you got all these people lying and talking about God called them and God sent them? It's because they really don't believe in God. The fool have said in his heart that there is no God. You go down to any precinct. I don't care if it's in a one-horse town or a metropolis. You go to the police station and you ask them, is so-and-so one of your officers? If it's a lot of officers, you say yes. They'll look up there, they'll look on their rostrum or look in their book and say, oh yes, he is. Badge number so-and-so and such and so-and-so. Right?
Yes, sir, that's right.
Tell all these people that claim God sent them. Tell them, show you their self in the Bible. Tell them to show you their self in the Bible or in the Holy Quran, where Allah sent them. I can show you where he said he sent me. But I'm the only one on the planet right now that can make that claim. When Elijah was here, he could show you where Allah sent him and told you he was going to send it. He didn't have to just rely on what he was telling you about Master Farad Muhammad. He could show you right there in the book, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet. And he said, I am Elijah. That's what he told them. Now, in the volume of the book I come, you can find the Son of Man in the Old Testament and the New Testament and in the Holy Quran. In the volume of the book I come, for it's all written about me. Now, let's let this man talk some more, because he was stating the truth.
Only people trying to actually stand up for the rights of these voters. And if somebody, as I've said this before, if somebody is willing to lie to you, not share your values, and not care about you, they think you're a Yahoo. All these Republicans think all these voters that they have as their base are Yahoos, and they're just fully willing to go along. And the only people.
Does Donald Trump share values of Christianity? No. Does Donald Trump tell the truth?
No, sir.
I didn't hear you.
No, sir.
Well, that's because, see, his very presence, you know, a lot of people don't know what witch hunt means. It's time that I tell you what witch hunt means. So let's go here and read. Now, this is the 72nd chapter of the Holy Quran, and the 13th chapter of the book of Matthew. So, you know, we we're gonna read from both of them. And let me see here. Now, this is the Holy Quran, in the chapter entitled "The Jinn." It says the Bible uses the word Gentile, and you know, it's just like that tile that's on that ceramic tile. It's the result of clay being heated in fire, and this tile, the ceramic tile, is made from intensely hot fire. Do you understand? So now let's go on and expand your mind now. Now this is I'm gonna start at the first verse. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. I'm told to say this. It says, say, it has been revealed to me that a party of the jinn listened, so they said, surely we have heard a wonderful Quran, a wonderful recital, a recital that is full of wonder, guiding to the right way, guiding to righteousness. So we believe, and we shall not set up anyone with our Lord. Now, you notice, you only know white people coming in here call themselves bringing somebody in here to argue with me. Huh? The sun have now become black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon as blood. I'll go into that with you later. And it says, we shall not set up anyone with our Lord, and he exalted be the majesty of our Lord. That should have been in parentheses, that part there. He, parentheses, exalted be the majesty of our Lord, has not taken a consort nor a son. Allah is the. In other words, Allah is not flesh. Allah made the flesh to be his temple. But the flesh, just like you made this building, Me and you made this building to be a place where we could meet together in. But the building ain't us, is it? We can tear this one down and build another one. Right?
Yes, sir.
What if you see the Son of Man ascend into the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the Most High? It is the Spirit that ascends. The flesh don't do that. The flesh ain't doing it, nothing but standing here. Okay, now let's see here. And the foolish among us used to forge extravagant lies against Allah. See the jinn bearing witness against itself. He said the foolish among us used to forge extravagant lies against Allah, against the truth. Where did Jesus come from? Well, the Holy Spirit came down and made a baby in Mary. Now, if that ain't an extravagant lie, you tell me what is. Huh? Then it says, and persons from among men, with persons from among the jinn. Yes.
The verse before that. Fifth verse.
Okay. It says, and the foolish among us used to forge extravagant against Allah, and we thought that men and jinn did not utter a lie against Allah. You know, when a person like me, I fear Allah. It's just like when I was growing up. You know, I wouldn't play with God. I wouldn't play with the word of God. And so when people was saying, if this man said that God called him and sent him, who was I? I'm finna argue with that man. No. You wouldn't think a person would lie on God. My God sent you when he didn't. But they do it. Yeah. We used to think, it says, and we thought. That's a past tense, ain't it? Don't think it no more, huh? We thought that men and jinn did not utter a lie against Allah. And persons from among men used to seek refuge, education, safety in mind. Used to seek refuge with persons from among the jinn. I went to Roberts University and got my theology degree in theology from Oral Roberts, seeking refuge in jinn. Whose ever knowledge you trust, that's who you seeking refuge in. And persons from among men used to seek refuge in persons from among the jinn. So they increased them in evil doing. And look at you now. Running around here, lying in the name of God. Man getting up in front of people talking about he need an airplane, he needs $60 million so he can get him an airplane. boy, this is rich. It says, and they thought as you think that Allah would not raise anyone. Yeah, they thought as you think that Allah wasn't going to raise up nobody that could deal with that. But now look who's standing here. Huh? The messenger said, this teaching will rise a powerful son of truth and the spirit of truth from this part of our planet among us, whom God have raised up. And I was raised up among those who were members of the said Nation of Islam. I came from there, right among them. And as it's written, it says, and they thought, as you think, that Allah would not raise anyone. And we sought to reach heaven. Yeah, you remember the people thought they could build them a religion that would guide them to heaven? And they wind up with a Tower of Babel, didn't they? What your Christianity done did for you? Come in here and tell me how you got to heaven in Christianity. In Judaism. And in all these denominations that you got out here calling yourself, talking about you got religion. You got nothing but a lie from the devil. And devil is deviser of illusion. That's right. You know, that's why the scripture refers to Pharaoh's people, his ministers, as magicians. Because of what? Magicians are people who make you see illusions and give you stuff that deludes you, that makes you delusional. Huh? Oh, that's right. So let's go and read some more. It says, and we sought to reach heaven, but we found it filled with strong guards and flames. He maketh his angel spirits and his ministers what? Flames of fire. Huh? You notice when somebody talking about you and you might not be aware of it. They say, man, I know your ears burning. Why say your ears burning? As his flames is at you. Huh? Is that right?
Yes,
is that right?
Yes, sir.
So now they finding out that what they was, like the boy talk about, I took the mark of the beast. When he the beast, he the one got the education of the beast in his brain. Huh? That's why he's scared of me. That's why he don't come in here and talk to me. Because he don't know nothing about the scripture. How about you went down there and took the shot, took the mark of the beast? Ain't that something? Boy, these people. Anyway, let's go on. And we used to sit in some of the sitting places thereof to steal a hearing. But he who tries to listen now finds a flame lying in wait for him. That's because Allah gave me the book and told me to eat it up. And he gave his angels charge over me. How did he give his angels charge over me? He left their words here and told me to take them in. And now they take charge of my brain. Do you understand? They have charge over me. So it says, and we know not whether evil is meant for those on earth or whether their Lord means to direct them aright. What does that mean? In order to know that, you would have to understand the Holy Scriptures. But the only one that knows the Holy Scriptures is me. And they don't know whether I'm going to guide them aright or whether I leave them in error. As it says, and we know not, that's the jinn talking, the white man. And we know not whether evil is meant for those on earth or whether their Lord means to direct them aright. And some of us are good. Now, there you go. Now we getting there. It's the jinn talking now, the white man. He says, some of us are good. And others of us are below that. What's below good? Come on. Talk to me. He's the family tree of the knowledge of what?
Good and evil.
Good and evil. Some of us are good. Just like Joe Biden. It's a good, decent man. And it's a whole lot, just like that man that's talking there on the TV. There's a lot of good, decent white people. And it says, and others of us are below that. Donald Trump and all of his supporters. We are set following different ways. Hey, you got sects in that Orthodox Islam, Sunni, Shiite, Hanafi, Mujahideen, and all these different sects. And in Christianity, you got Baptists, Methodists, Episcopal, Seventh-day Adventists. What is that to do? Divide religion. Because a house divided against itself can't stand. Huh? And the devil don't want God's house to stand because his will fall if God's house stands. So he gives you all these different things to believe in. You hear me? And then he said, look, now I don't knock nobody's religion. That's the first thing out of his mouth. I don't knock nobody's religion. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Why? He teach you to not knock nobody's religion so that when the true religion comes, you think something wrong because I'm knocking all y'all's religion. But anyway, well, if I'm laughing, the book said he that sitteth in the heaven shall laugh at him. Anyway, let's read some more. It says, some of us are good and others of us are below that. We are sects following different ways. And we know that we cannot escape Allah in the earth, nor can we escape him by flight. Huh? So high you can't fly over him. So low you can't dig on him. you can't escape. Huh? All right. And they said, and when we heard the guidance, we believed in it. Look at these white people in Mississippi. Right here with me in Mississippi. They ain't threatening me. Matter of fact, most of them was very kind to me. Matter of fact, I can't even think of none that ain't been kind to me. So it's written. It says, and when we heard the guidance, we believed in it. So whoever believes in his Lord, he fears neither loss nor injustice. You remember I asked white people? How many white people think that I would be unjust to you? That I'm not qualified to be your judge because I got some kind of prejudice or something against you? You hear no white people unmute their phone and say that they believe I would mistreat them? See? That's because I'm the Lord. Now, let's get back to some of us are good and some of us are below that. Now, which are you? So we on a witch hunt now. How did they? Donald Trump told you it's a witch hunt. But he didn't tell you which witch you're talking about. I didn't hear you. So everybody that supported Donald Trump, they are below good. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
You see? So I'm gonna tell you, man, you can't talk over my head. And in the 13th chapter of Matthew, it says that this is what would be done. If God gonna send you strong delusion, hey, you ever sent a package? Have you ever sent a package?
Yes, sir.
Did you just put it in the wind or did you give it to somebody to deliver for you?
He gave it to somebody.
Well, Donald Trump, and God said he's going to send them what?
Strong delusion.
Strong delusion. You ever met anybody more delusional than Donald Trump? I have. The ones who followed him. I mean, I'm laughing at you. low down devils. This is what was written. It says, another parable put Jesus forth unto them. This is the 24th verse of the 13th chapter of Matthew. Saying unto them, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man which sowed good seed in his field. You notice, you go to school, you got many fields of study, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, now you understand that field don't mean something out there. And we talk about religion. Religion is a field. Theology is a field. So it's likened, the kingdom of heaven is likened unto a man. Each messenger of God was a man, and he sowed good seed in the field of religion. Huh? Oh, he's getting good now, ain't he? Huh? And but while men slept, since the fathers fell asleep, huh? His enemy, who is the men? So set thy face for religion, being upright. The nature of the mind made by Allah, in which he has taught men. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
So, but while men slept, you notice now the Bible, what did Jesus say about sleeping?
Lazarus is dead.
Lazarus is dead. Is any of the prophets, are they alive now, physically? Or are they all absent from the body?
They're all absent from the body.
Okay, well, if they all absent from the body, when did they say they would be present again?
When they were absent from the body.
See, you weren't listening to the question.
With the Lord.
They said they'd be present again with the Lord, didn't they? There you go. Now, it says, so you see, Jesus is talking to you now. With me. I didn't hear you. Now it says, but while men slept, his enemy. Who was the enemy of Jesus and Moses? Who was the enemy of man? Satan, not. Moses said, look, of the swine, now it divided the hoof, yet it cheweth not the cud. It is unclean unto you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their dead carcass. The white man say, hey, come on, get some of this good bacon here, man. By God, it's good. Is that what he tell you? And you say, yeah, man, give me some smoked sausage. Give me some pork sausage. Pork salad, Annie. Is that right? Everything God said don't do, don't drink wine. It said, be not drunken, and don't gamble. The Holy Quran says, oh, you who believe, avoid games of chance and intoxicants. Man, this man has got so many things that'll intoxicate you that you can't even name them all. Huh? And got whole cities. And you go right down here in Natchez and look on the river. Is them boats still down there, and gambling boats still down there?
Yes, sir.
In Vicksburg. I mean, he invites you to do everything that God said don't do. Because he's the enemy of man. He is the embodiment. I'm not man's skin. I'm talking about the mind that we put in him. That's the enemy of man. That's why it says on him is a curse. He carrying an enemy to himself around in his brain. You notice, white people suffer all kind of illnesses and stuff because of the things that they do in practice. The mind that's in them is killing them. So, he ain't saying nothing. He know I'm telling the truth. Look at all them people that died from asbestos. What's that the disease you get from asbestos? Cancer and all these things. Then he knew that putting them in coal mines without masks and stuff on, them killing the black lung and all that kind of stuff. He putting his own people to death just so he can make $1. He didn't give a damn. Well, he got to die from something. That's what he said. Got to die from something. Well, let's go further. But while men slept, his enemy came and picked up that book. Said, "My goodness, this is some interesting stuff here. This gave Jesus power over plenty of people. Moses had power over many people. And I think I can do this." And look how many people. Remember Jim and Tammy Faye Baker? Gold toilet fixtures and stuff. Doing what? They wasn't working. They had the book of God. And using God's book to gain power over people. Huh? Look at Reverend Mike. You remember him? Green power. Is that what he said? Is that what he said? Yeah. Oral Roberts, the $4 million man. Jimmy Swagger, all of them. Joel Osteen, T.D. Jakes, all of them out there telling you that you got Farrakhan running around here talking about he the son of man. At least that's what a lot of the people that call themselves follow talk about.
Yes, sir.
but he won't come tell me that. So they out there sowing tares among the wheat. The prophets sowed the truth. These fellas, while the prophets ain't here, they've been taking the books of the prophets and sowing their own understanding and forging the name of God and his prophets onto their words. Forging God's name on what they say. This is what Jesus meant by this. This is what Moses meant. The prophet meant so and so. Prophet Muhammad meant this by that. And they don't know what the prophet meant by it because it wasn't even the prophet's words. It was Allah's words. What? And so they sowed tares among the wheat and went. The enemy came and sowed tares among the wheat and went his way. Went about living life his own way and not the way that Allah intended. As Allah said, my ways are not your ways. My thoughts are not your thoughts. I didn't hear you. But when the blade was sprung up, what do you mean when the thing opened up and bore fruit, when you could start seeing the result of practicing and following them, it didn't produce righteousness. Any of you all out there that claim that your teacher done made a righteous person out of you, unmute your phone and let me talk to you. And let's see how righteous you are. Now, just a minute now. Now, you going to church, you going to mosque, you going to synagogue, you going to all these different places every week. If you're not being made righteous, why you keep going there? It's like a man that keep going to the doctor and they ain't never getting well, but he keep going back to the same doctor. If he ain't doing nothing for you, what you keep going to him for? Because you love lies. You have a taste for what he's selling. You're not hungry and thirsty for truth. Because it's self-evident by the blade done sprung up and you ain't practicing righteousness. But you ever talk to some of these people that claim to be following some of these other folks? You disagree with them and they go off on you. You know, it's that good gracious, man. You know, I mean, what? You don't see my followers going off on nobody because that person say they don't want to follow me. My followers don't argue with people trying to make them follow me. My followers give you a card and tell you talk to him yourself. You disagree with him, come in there and disagree with him. They ain't rolling their eyes at you. You got a hell of a nerve getting mad with people because they don't want to follow who you follow. Well, I mean, they have the right. I thought you said your religion is freedom, justice, and equality. The messenger said this about people that didn't want to follow him. He said, if you're happy not being my follower, I'm happy with you not being my follower. I'm not here to beg you. You want to turn down heaven? Well, turn it down. That's your business. I'll just go and find somebody who I can guide. You ain't wasting my time trying to guide somebody that don't want me to guide them. I'll leave you alone. It says, but when the blade was sprung up and brought forth fruit, then appeared the tares also. So the servants of the householder came and said unto him, Sir, didst not thou sow good seed in thy field? Then from whence then hath it tares? Came from all these liars out here talking about God sent them and God called them and God ordained them, and God ain't called and sent none of them. That's just a lie they telling. Now I owe you $50,000 if can say that God sent you to teach his word to people. How come you ain't in here offering the word? It's because you're a liar. But you threw lying in the name of God. I'm here to put a stop to it. So it says, whence did these tares come? Where did they come from? And he said unto them, an enemy hath done this. An enemy have lied and said Jesus came to be murdered, and that was God's plan for salvation. That's an enemy did that. The servants said unto him, wilt thou then that we go and gather them up? But he said, nay, no, lest while you gather up the tares, you root up also the wheat with them. Let until the harvest, and in the time of harvest, I will say to the reapers. Then we talking about the I didn't hear you. Let's deal with it. It says, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first. Don, where you at? Get out there and go get them. Go Go find out which one is which. So he double bit on the witch hunt. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. You ain't never see so many people come out the woodwork with their racism and stuff until Donald got out there. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So now we finding out which are good and which are below that. I didn't hear you. Which is which, huh?
Yes, sir.
So it's a witch hunt, huh? I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
WHICH.
Right.
There you go. And bind them in bundles to burn them. Look at that bundle of them in. I didn't hear you.
Yes, sir.
Got bundles of them in the Proud Boys. Bundles of them in the KKK. And all of them done got together now. Binding them in bundles. Huh? To do what? To burn them. What is that to say? There's a fire of a pandemic going on around here. Who walking around there burning? Everybody who loves and makes up a lie. Huh? A scientist tell him, hey, man, you need to get vaccinated. We got something to protect you here. I ain't taking that. You ain't going to put the mark on the beast on me. Well, you can't say I didn't try to tell you. I did. I even took it to show you. It's not going to hurt you. Do I sound short of breath? I didn't hear you.
No, sir.
And so, I mean, I took both shots. I knew you was going to have something hateful to say. But I knew at the same time, a lot of people, they don't know the scriptures like I do. You know, I know what Allah said about me, that thing wasn't going to come near to me. But I knew that if they saw me take it, they would realize, no, I'm not scared of it. And I told them I'll still walk around here with a mask on because I don't want people that don't have the protection I have. I don't want them to stumble because they saw me doing something that they could never do. You know? So I waited. I looked at the word of God where it said, let every soul be subject to the higher powers. And I recognize that I'm a soul too. And so I submitted and let them do it to me too. Showing my followers that I ain't telling you to go do something that I'm not willing to do. So I know many of them were scared. They told me. I mean, I don't think I want to take that. I said, oh yeah, you got to take that. You go on down there and get it. And I know they may have been thinking, some of them, so I took that thought away from them when they saw me take it. You know. So, but anyway, let's let this man talk some more.
Trying to actually stand up for the rights of these voters is the Democratic Party. Care about their own voters. They'll cut them loose as quickly as they got into trouble. And if somebody, as I've said this before, if somebody is willing to lie to you, not share your values, and not care about you, they think you're a Yahoo. All these Republicans think all these voters that they have as their base are Yahoos. And they're just fully willing to go along. And the only people trying to actually stand up for the rights of these voters is the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is the only party trying to defend democracy in this moment and stand up for Trump voters. And at some point, I hope in the course of these elections, we realize this. But the fact that we're at this point, and I hope that this commission, which I agree with you, the select committee, I agree with you completely. It should be prime time. I think it's actually going to be a big thing because I think the country wants to know what happened and who's responsible. I hope we hold people more than accountable than the 400 or 500 people arrested at the Capitol. I hope we hold people that have offices and get federal paychecks responsible.
I want.
And now that's the truth. Now that man was 105% right. And as I told you, you who are true Republicans, in the next, all of the future, for the near future elections, you need to vote for the Democratic ticket. Remove the power of them who are in your government that's trying to destroy your government from within. And give thanks that you have enough patriots in one of the parties that's fighting. And you join with them and fight with them. And then when you get your Congress back, be more watchful about who you send up there. If they're conservative, that's good. That is actually the way this system was designed. Now that I have looked at it, I understand the principle behind it. You got some that's liberal and some that are conservative. And the way it was designed is that those who want to speed ahead and make more progress, that's fine. But the conservatives are there to say, wait a minute. You know, change. If we're going to make changes, let's make them. But let's make sure, I mean, it's a great big ship we got here. You can't turn it on no dime. It take time to make a change that's going to last. So let's do it by degrees. Now let's meet in the middle and you get some of what you want, but not all of it. And we'll get some of what we want, but not all of it. And that's the way it has been working for the past 200 years. Now, if I'm not seeing something, come in there and straighten it out. I'll let you talk. This is your country, white people. I'm not trying to take over your country. I wouldn't want nobody in my country trying to take it over. The earth is big. I just want some of it for me and my people. We have never been free. Therefore, we don't really know ourselves. We don't know what we're capable of because as long as the black man in America been in the world, he has been a subjugated people. And I'm tired of that. But I don't need to see the destruction of your government and your country in order for mine to live. Because I've learned a lot from watching your government. And all of it wasn't bad because I've incorporated some of what you, just like the idea of the freedom of speech to let people argue with you as the leader. If they, I tell people all of the time, look, if I ask your opinion, give it. Don't insult my intelligence by telling me, well, whatever you think. I already know it's going to be what I think, but I still respect your opinion, and I think I've surrounded myself with intelligent people, not fools. The scripture says, in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. I see the founding fathers of this country thought that and followed that because they let a president take a cabinet of people in with him. He gets to choose people that will be around him that he can brainstorm with and get advice from. A multitude of counselors. But even in your choosing counselors, that is a test of your ability to lead also. That's why you should always ask Allah for his help. Never think you can go it alone. The only independent one in the universe is Almighty God Allah, the truth. Say he, Allah, is independent, upon whom we all depend. Surround yourself with people whose intelligence you respect. And then when you're making important decisions, ask them their opinion. And most of the time, you will be equipped to make a very sound, informed decision. And if they are real intelligent, they will understand that they had better give you the best input that they can. Because the decision that you make gonna be based on their input, and it's going to directly or indirectly affect them. So, you know, I love talking to people that know how to do something that I don't know how to do. That's how you make progress. You find people that know what you don't know. And you ask them, will you help me? That's where you do that. So, let's do this. Let's remember to don't think that we are more than we really are. You know, each of us have something to contribute. All we have to do is be put in a position where what's in us, the good that's in us, is what need to be cultivated. You cannot cultivate the good in people if you got them fighting and fussing and hating each other. You notice President Biden, he came to a deal with Republicans and Democrats. He got with them and worked with them. He didn't get everything he wanted, but he showed them that he was sincere. And when people tried to twist what he meant by what he said, He came back and explained himself. And then you had some people talking about he's a coward and he's all that. You're a fool. The president of the United States is not the enemy of Republicans. He's not the enemy of Democrats. He is the president of the United States. And he happens to recognize that this is a two-party system. And without both parties working together, the system fails. To restore the soul of America is to restore the life of America. And anybody that does not work in unity with itself is in danger of death. Cancer is a enemy to unity. And it destroys the body. It destroys it because the cells of cancer were at one time part of the body that instead of working to help the body, started working against the body. That's what you got in your government right now. You have a cancer in there. You see? So now you got to get it out, or it's going to destroy you. So anything that I can do to help, I will help. So, you should do to others as you would like others to do to you. That is the teachings of Allah. And if it was my country, I would appreciate people trying to help me hold it together. I hope that, as I said, the more you listen to, for instance, Joe Manchin, you see Joe Manchin cares about the whole country. He's not trying to thwart anything from what I could see. But I hope you will, Mr. Manchin, and all right-minded people. I'm not begging you for anything. I'm simply saying to you, put yourself in my position. Put yourself in my people's position. I remember when you were once in our position. You had a king that was taxing you and didn't want you to have no say-so in the government. And you called that tyranny. Then why would you do it to us? If it was tyranny when it was done to you, it's tyranny when you're doing it to us. Don't allow them to do that. Don't allow your people to do to us what they fought a revolutionary war over to prevent from being done to them because they had an unreasonable king. So I really do think that they care. And I think that they will eventually do something about this effort on the part of the racists and the bigots and those of low character are trying to prevent black people from having a say-so in a government that taxes them as equal citizens. You can't say you don't see us as citizens if you taxing us as citizens. You tax us equally with the rest of your citizens. Do justice by us. Don't make it necessary for Allah to step in. You do the right thing. Just like the Supreme Court just did for Dr. Cosby. And my hat is off to you. I thank you for righting the wrong that was done to my brother. And as I told you, as the messenger said, you will always find us to be peaceful, law-abiding citizens of yours, as long as we are here. So, I'm going to let you go now. But may Allah bless us all and keep us safe and in our right minds, who hunger and thirst for his righteousness. May Allah's Salam Alaikum.